Hello, everyone. It's that time of year again. The NFL playoffs. Very exciting time. I'm Justin Crumley, and this is the Cujo Productions channel. Welcome to another edition of Cujo Productions Sports Talk. Let's just get right into it right away. Alright, so the first matchup we have is the Tennessee Titans and the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's start with Tennessee. Kind of got into the playoffs a little bit hobbling. They did have to win their last game. They beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. Did not win the division, but they're in the playoffs, so it doesn't matter. Marcus Mariota, kind of up and down. I haven't checked his stats before this video, but I would say Tennessee was pretty middle of the road, and I think that shows in the 9-7 record. But I do think they are going in the right direction by making the playoffs. On the flip side, you have the Kansas City Chiefs, who took the AFC West on a record of 10-6. Started off very hot when they completely annihilated my Patriots at the beginning of the year. Very, very great start to the season for the Chiefs. They were 5-0. Then they went like 6-5 or something. They went on a complete downslope. I'm not 100% sure if that's how it went, but I know they started 5-0 and just like collapsed. So for them to finish 10-6, I think is a bit disappointing. I think everyone thought they would at least go, 12-4, 13-3, especially with a 5-0 start. You don't usually end a season 10-6 if you start 5-0. With all that said, who do I think is going to win this game? I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the Chiefs just overall have a better team, a more organized way of playing, a better defense, and I think Alex Smith is an underrated quarterback. I don't think he's an absolute game changer. I think he's a game manager, and Tennessee, just like I said, kind of middle of the road, a little up and down. Mariota hasn't really hit that elite kind of level yet. Can Tennessee win the game? Absolutely. Kansas City is a bit unpredictable, but I think I feel better going with Kansas City on this one, so I'm going to take the Chiefs for this game. Next up, we have the Atlanta Falcons and the Los Angeles Rams. The Falcons overcame the Super Bowl hangover after blowing that 28-3 lead, which I absolutely love bringing that up because I am a Patriots fan. So, anyway, Atlanta, reigning NFC champions, coming into the playoffs at 10-6. Definitely a step back from last year. I don't remember what the record was last year, but I don't think a lot of people had them coming back to the playoffs. I think a lot of people thought they would suffer the dreaded Super Bowl hangover, which is pretty self-explanatory. When you lose the Super Bowl, it's very hard to even get back to the postseason. So Atlanta obviously overcame that. Los Angeles, what can I say? Under Coach Sean McVay, they've absolutely surprised everybody. They have absolutely dominated. Todd Gurley is an MVP candidate, so that kind of speaks for itself. Jared Goff definitely had a better year this year than last year. The LA Rams just all around look like a better team under Sean McVay than they did under Jeff Fisher. And no, Jeff Fisher, you do not deserve credit for this. I don't care if these are relatively the same players. You were middle of the road. So, no, you don't get to take away from Sean McVay. Sorry, I just had to do that little rant. I didn't think it was a better time to do it than now. But anyway, on to the prediction. I'm going to go with the Rams in this one. I think Todd Gurley is playing at a very elite level. He's an MVP candidate for a reason. I think Jared Goff's doing very well. The LA Rams just look like a more complete team. The Falcons, I wouldn't say they kind of hobbled into the playoffs, but you could tell they're not what they were last year. Again, definitely possible for them to beat the Rams, but I don't think it happens in this game. I'm going to go with the Rams. Next up, it's the Buffalo Bills finally snapping their playoff drought. going into Jacksonville to take on one of the top defenses in the league in the Jacksonville Jaguars. Buffalo, what can I say? It's cool to see Buffalo finally in the playoffs. I know I'm a Patriots fan, and I said that, but I'm being honest here. It is kind of nice. They did get in because Baltimore couldn't beat the Bengals. So I wouldn't say they got in off nothing. They earned it. They had to win and then hope for Baltimore to lose. They did that. They beat Miami, and yeah, Cincinnati did their part. And I find it funny that the Buffalo Bills want to add Andy Dalton to their little ring of honor kind of thing. So that's kind of funny. But anyway, Jacksonville had a very big turnaround this year. They won the AFC South on a 10-6 record. As I said, one of the top defenses in the league. They were kind of neck and neck with Denver for the number one spot. At least last time I checked. I haven't checked recently, so don't quote me on that. But yeah. With all that said, I'm gonna go with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think Buffalo is heading in the right direction, much like Tennessee. But I look at Tyrod Taylor, and I see a middle-of-the-road quarterback. I don't see any big-name receivers that can make a huge impact. LaShawn McCoy probably will have a good game, but I don't think that's going to be enough. I think Jacksonville's defense is way too good, very smothering, and yeah, Blake Bortles definitely is not an elite quarterback, and I'd be very hard pressed to say that he's going to be in Jacksonville again next year. I don't think he will be. I think Jacksonville is going to move on, and I think Doug Marrone is going to want to find a different quarterback. So, yeah, that being said, Leonard Fournette played pretty well this year. Jacksonville's defense, like I said, one of the top defenses in the league, and I got Jacksonville winning this one. Last up, we have the Carolina Panthers and the New Orleans Saints. NFC South rivals. 3 teams from the NFC South made it to the playoffs. And actually, it's ironic because I actually thought Tampa Bay was going to take the division. But ironically, they're the only team in the NFC South to not make the make the playoffs. So, good to know that prediction went out the window. But anyway, Carolina Panthers, man, what can I say? They're back in the playoffs after a giant step back last year. Cam Newton being an MVP candidate a couple years ago, definitely a little bit better than last year. I think the biggest problem with Cam Newton is consistency. And I guess I can't talk too much crap about Cam Newton. He did carve up the Patriots earlier this year. It's one of Carolina's 11 wins this season, so definitely not too much shit from me. I think the Panthers are a good team with a lot of potential. And on the flip side, you have the New Orleans Saints, who I honestly didn't think would be as good as they were. They've been kind of lackluster. Drew Brees has been playing at a very elite level, but the Saints, the team around him, and they traded Brandon Cooks at the beginning of the year. There was somewhat of some backlash there from the fans, at least Saints fans. But I think they've done very well for themselves, and Drew Brees has proven that he can work with any receiver you give him. So, with all that said, New Orleans, I believe, swept Carolina this year. So, I think that streak is going to continue. I think New Orleans is going to come out on top. They're in the Superdome. That's a pretty hard place to win. I think Drew Brees is going to have a great game. It's going to be tough, because it's really going to come down to what kind of Cam Newton shows up. Is it going to be MVP Cam, or is it going to be Super Bowl 50 Cam? Now, to be fair, Super Bowl 50 wasn't really on him because they were playing a smothering Broncos defense. But with all that said, I think I feel more comfortable going with the Saints in this situation. I think they just got the Panthers' number. They're playing in the Superdome. I think Drew Brees is playing at a very good level, and the Saints' defense was definitely an improvement. Not one of the league's best, but I don't remember it being in anywhere near the worst. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Saints on this one. And that wraps up my predictions for Wild Card Weekend. So, anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up. Do you agree with my predictions? What are some of your predictions for Wild Card Weekend? Let me know in the comment section below. Feel free to put anything you want in the comment section regarding Wild Card Weekend. Have a great day, guys. If you're not having a great day, I hope it gets better. Be sure to check out my social media links. My Facebook page, my Twitter account, my Instagram, my Redbubble page if you want to buy some merchandise. Links to all that is in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Until next time, I'm Justin Crumley, and this is Cujo Productions, signing out.